Hey everyone, and welcome back to I Got My Real Estate License Now What? My name's Elizabeth Groshar. I am a licensed real estate instructor as well as the broker and owner of EDG Realty and EDG Realty Refer in Sarasota, Florida. Thank you for listening, and today we're going to just go over something not about leads, but saving money as a realtor because tax season is coming up. Realtor, real estate agent, I'm going to use those intertwined, but if you took the course, you should know the difference between the two. If you don't, look it up. So, for tax season, there are some things that you could do throughout the year to save you money. I just want to put a quick disclaimer out there that I am not an accountant. So, definitely double check with your accountant and, don't take everything I say, do your own research. So in addition to things that you normally would write off, just like your marketing expenses and stuff like that, I'm going to go into a few different things that are also included in tax write-offs. One of the first things that some people may forget to write off are going to be like your licensing fees, which are going to include if you join the Board of Realtors, your National Board of Realtors, your Florida Board, and then your local board, your MLS fees. Also, if you have like a desk fee or something like that at your brokerage, as well as E&O insurance. Just an FYI, we don't charge for that, so you can save yourself some money that way too by joining EDG. And here we go. The next thing is going to be classes. If you take classes for like continuing education, or if you're trying to get a designation, some letters on the end of your name, like a GRI or an SRS, and you take classes, you are able to write those classes off as an expense because you are learning more about your field. It does have to be classes within your field, so you can't just like take a cooking class with your spouse and call that a write-off. So after you take your classes, you can also write off the supplies and the mileage if you drove there, which brings us to our next one. So mileage can be done two different ways. One can be done by using like how much you spent on the car throughout, and another could be how many miles you drove. I don't know what the technical names are for it, but usually the miles that you drove in real estate end up being the better option because you do drive a lot. So this could be anything from like driving to the office or a listing appointment and then going to a bunch of different showings, meeting with customers. And a lot of times we drive pretty far in a day. A couple times I've driven more than 100 miles in a day. So you can just write that down and keep track of the mileage that you are using for work instead of personal. And you can do this by, using an app. Just purchase one. Or if you're really cheap, you can just write it down. But that would be kind of a waste of time because the mileage just tracks it. You just hit it in your app and you're good to go. Another thing you can write off, but sometimes if you're not writing it off for the correct reasons, you can be audited, which would be home office expenses. So basically with this, you need to have a home office. Like you can't just be a desk in your bedroom, and you need to use that office specifically for work. In real estate, a lot of us do have home offices. So a lot of times this will be an expense that can be written off. And so you can basically take a portion of your bills and then divide your square footage. It's a really fun time, but it takes a little bit of work, or you could just pay an accountant to do it. So that is another expense you can write off. If you are purchasing your own health insurance, like if you don't have health insurance through like a spouse's work or something like that, you are able to write off your health insurance premiums as well. If you're purchasing gifts for customers after like a closing, or maybe someone sent you a referral and you want to thank them with a little edible arrangement, you can usually write off up to $25 from that gift, which is, a good practice because you're probably getting them a gift anyway, so you might as well write it off. But it does have to be a gift that is for a customer. It can't just be like, a gift card to AMC that you got for your son's friend's birthday. Another thing you can do is put some money into a retirement fund like Roth IRAs. You can do like the education account for kids. and stuff like that. And there's also a way, I don't know how to do it, but look into it, that you can pay your kids and it, becomes a tax write-off there. Another great way, you're a realtor, so you should know this, or a real estate agent, but purchasing investment properties and having investment properties a lot of times will save you money on your taxes because you'll be able to write off a lot of depreciation for those. So those are just some quick ways to save money on your taxes now that tax season's up. And again, I'm not an accountant, so I don't want to go into too much more, but if anybody else has any ideas, let us know, or do it on your own, whatever you want. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'm Elizabeth Groshar, licensed real estate instructor and broker owner of EDG Realty in Sarasota, Florida. Have a wonderful week and get those taxes ready to go.